Good evening and welcome to our special programming. We're looking not just at the Delhi MCD results today, which have shown an emphatic victory for the Aam Aadmi Party, but the larger national implication of this election. The AAP has done well, but the BJP hasn't done as badly as many had predicted, Vasu.
That's right, Nidhi. It's turned out to be an election which was many wondering, as I was saying earlier, I don't think we've ever anchored a municipal election show.
Never. First time for everything.
Yeah, on prime time.
We've done Bombay elections before about 10-15 years ago.
We've done Bombay elections. We've been immediately fact-checked by Dorab Sapariwala. Dorab, yes. Great to have you. This is our triple engine anchoring panel tonight. So, which has
not just a double engine.
Yeah, not just double engine. I don't know what car can move forward with three engines, let alone two. But yes, you're right. I mean, the fact is that this election has been quote-unquote nationalized because of the BJP. Let's face it. Yeah, and they rolled out all their big guns and they've nationalized it.
From the Prime Minister onwards and several union ministers. So this is what the final picture looks like. Let's look at the graphics first. So in the end, the Aam Aadmi Party has comfortably crossed the halfway mark of 125. It's at 134. The BJP at 104. And we're going to be looking at the vote share as well, which is actually very interesting, Vasu, because the BJP's vote share has actually gone up in this MCD election by 3 percentage points. And if you want to take that forward with Dorab also, how it compares with the assembly polls as well.
That's right. So there's this paradox, Dorab, which we were talking about earlier, that as Nidhi said, the Aam Aadmi Party has won the MCD for the first time in 15 years. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi has been a BJP bastion for especially our viewers outside Delhi to understand why this is a big deal. Even though the AAP would keep winning the Delhi Assembly, they keep losing at the MCD. Now they won the MCD as well. But the BJP has lost close to, 90 seats? But it has, the AAP has gained 90 seats. The BJP has dropped a huge number of seats, but they've increased their vote share by, as Nidhi said, 3 percentage points. Explain how that
If you look at last time, the BJP was way ahead and AAP and Congress this was a three-way fight.
Right.
Essentially, it's become a two-way fight.
Right.
In a two-way fight, it is quite possible for you. I'm not talking of increasing the vote share. I'm saying very close.
Right.
And yet, one wouldn't expect 39-42. How come such a big difference?
Yeah.
But it becomes a two-way fight. The Congress having opted out and the others not being as important. There is, I don't want to get into this, but it's on Google, something called the cube law. You apply that cube law, I checked, it's on Google, you'll see why, with such small difference in votes, there's enormous, 104 to 134, so very large difference in seats. But that happens. But I think the votes gone up, probably, one reason could be, who has not come out to vote. 51% have voted, that's all. Now, your supporters have come, mine haven't. When half the guys don't come out, you don't know whose guys aren't coming out. Yes.
In fact,
essentially what you're saying is that it's now become bipolar. Yes. Earlier it was three-cornered. It's become bipolar. And that's why all the Congress votes and the votes of the others have got sucked in by both these parties.
Correct.
AAP has got the bulk of those votes. But the BJP has also got some of them.
Yes, of
and that's why the BJP's vote share has gone up, even though the number of seats
has gone down.
You can lose a seat by one vote. Don't forget that.
Absolutely. We're joined by Raghav Chaddha now, senior Aam Aadmi Party leader, member of parliament. He's also been in charge of the campaign in Gujarat. So Raghav, I know you're smiling today. Wonder if it will be the same tomorrow. Let's see. But what's your big takeaway, Raghav, from today's result?
One big takeaway is that the people of Delhi and people at large, voters at large, reject politics of falsehood and abuse. They have once again rewarded Arvind Kejriwal for his upright, clean politics and politics which is based on issues of providing basic amenities to people like electricity, water, education, healthcare, and politics that revolves around issues. BJP's campaign of throwing muck at us, running slanderous, defamatory campaigns, coming out with fabricated videos, so on and so forth, has been rejected outrightly by the people, and people have voted for a pro-governance, pro-people party like the Aam Aadmi Party.
Sure,
it is also perhaps for the first time that AAP was...
Go ahead, Raghav, sorry, go ahead.
That we were against... the Aam Aadmi Party was fighting an incumbent BJP In Delhi, we fought an incumbent Congress. In Punjab, we fought and won against an incumbent Congress. In Delhi, we fought against an incumbent BJP. We defeated them. And one big message that today this small municipal election, which has been nationalized by the BJP and which has essentially become a high voltage election, has sent out, is that it's only the Aam Aadmi Party that can take on the BJP and defeat the BJP and is the alternative to the BJP, whether it's at the municipal level or whether it's at a national level. And I say this because Delhi represents literally every state, every society in this country. And as Prime Minister used to say, "Jo Delhi ke dil mein hai, wo desh ke dil mein hai."
Okay,
so this election sends out a loud and clear message of rejection of politics of abuse and falsehood.
That's an interesting point, that this is the first time that actually it's been AAP versus BJP, and you've quote-unquote dislodged the BJP, which has not happened so far. But Raghav, the point that being made is, especially in BJP circles, the fact that the exit suggested that you'd be winning with a landslide, you know, close to almost 200 seats, ended up with about 130. It's still a win, but it's a less emphatic win than suggested.
Well, you know, Vasu, I'll draw from an analogy of a meritorious student who scores above 90% in all his exams, sometimes 92%, sometimes 95%, sometimes 99%. And in one fine midterm exam, he scores 80%. And somehow people around him may, wish to believe that the result has been unfavorable. No, the student has still passed his exam with a distinction. And I think that's something similar
that's fair
has
enough.
happened in Delhi, where AAP has been...
My thing was, were you expecting around this number, or were you thinking it'll be a landslide?
Well, quite frankly, I was expecting the number to be, of course, higher than what the number actually is.
Right.
But having said that, the campaign that the BJP ran, by bringing in more than 7 chief ministers, more than 17 union cabinet ministers, more than 100 members of parliament, entire national organization of the BJP and the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, and above all, the agencies, the use of the CBI, the ED, the income tax, forget all this. They even roped in a con man who's suffering a jail sentence in Tihar jail as one of their star pracharaks.
Right.
There was also the
these
delimitation,
people and this machinery
there
was
also
used
the
to stop
delimitation
one
of
man.
the constituency.
Plus there was the delimitation, as Nidhi rightly points out. There was a very convenient delimitation process that was conceived and executed sitting in the BJP's national office, where the entire constituency boundaries were redrawn in a way to favor the BJP.
Yeah, and also the three
MCDs.
The three MCDs.
Dorab.
Dorab has a question, Raghav.
Mr. Chaddha, it must be a matter of some concern to
May I
you.
just finish my brief point?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, Raghav, go ahead.
I was only saying that all these big forces, these big guns, ministers, chief ministers, agencies, might of the central government, everything was used and unleashed at the Aam Aadmi Party. Yet, Aam Aadmi Party, a small party that has come from humble origins, that represents the Aam Aadmi, has managed to defeat the world's biggest party and the most powerful party, and that too in the national capital, and that too quite convincingly. I think the Aam Aadmi Party has done its best. Of course, there is scope for improvement and scope for introspection for every party. And we will, of course, do that. But 15 years of BJP rule in MCD ends today. And a pro-people government of the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal is hereby installed in the MCD.
Mr. Chaddha, you've won decisively. There's no doubt about that. The question I have is that in relation to the assembly polls, the BJP has actually kept its 2020 assembly vote intact.
Yeah.
You have dropped more than 10%. Is that a cause of some concern? And don't forget, the BJP in 2025, like it did in 2020, will bring all the big guns, the ministers, the ED, the CBI, the whole lot. They did that in 2022. I'm just saying that, is it a matter of some concern to you that in relation to the 2020 result, you've dropped 10% of the vote, while the BJP has held its assembly vote?
You see, if you were to compare the 2014 Lok Sabha voting percentage of the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party with the 2015 Vidhan Sabha, you would find that BJP gets 54-55% in Lok Sabha and Aam Aadmi Party gets 54-55% in the Vidhan Sabha. In 2019 Lok Sabha also BJP got more than 50%. But 1 year later in 2020 Vidhan Sabha, AAP gets more than 50%. So, you know, the vote share in Delhi somehow, for some reason, keeps on fluctuating. In fact, in 2017 MCD elections, we got
between the Lok Sabha and the Vidhan Sabha. So as you get closer to home, you do better. As you become national, you are becoming very home, close to home in MCD. And yet, you not held your share. I accept entirely what you say about the Lok Sabha. That in fact, you were number 3 in 2019 in the Lok Sabha in Delhi.
Yeah.
Not even number
18%,
2.
Just 18%
So the
vote share.
question
my
is
larger point, the point that I wanted to draw from these numbers is that every election is completely different in its flavor, its touch and feel. In 2017 MCD, we were at 26%, only 26% vote share in Delhi. Today, we are far more than that. So I think every election has its own, temperature and flavor, and therefore the vote share keeps on fluctuating.
Right.
However, as I said, there is room for improvement. There is, scope for introspection, and we will certainly introspect how in certain areas where we were hoping to do phenomenally well, we have managed to do, pretty ordinarily or pretty average stuff. And in areas where we wanted to do exceedingly well, we have done exceedingly well. So I think all those areas and all those constituencies will be studied by the party in greater detail.
Raghav, you're also in charge of the Gujarat campaign, and just looking ahead to tomorrow's result. And now I know you're supposed to, but don't say we're going to win an absolute majority. Can we ask an honest assessment from you? I mean, what would the AAP genuinely consider a win in Gujarat under the circumstances with the BJP as the favourites? Is it a certain minimum vote share, or is it a certain number of seats that would satisfy you? Because you are a relatively new entrant. I mean, this is the first time you're contesting in such a big way in Gujarat. I'm not comparing it to last time. So is there a certain target that you have that would make you all happy?
Even if the predictions and the estimates that have been put forward by the exit polls were to come true, AAP is likely to become a national party. That is the lowest hanging fruit, and that is going to be a big achievement for Aam Aadmi Party. We've only been in existence for a decade, and in almost a decade, we have a government in 2 states, Delhi and Punjab. We have more than 10 Rajya Sabha MPs. We have councillors in Chandigarh and in Delhi. We have MLAs in Goa, likely to have MLAs in Gujarat. We are the fastest growing political party that independent India has ever seen. So on that count, I will be very happy with whatever percentage we get, because we're likely to become a national party. However,
what is the percentage you need for that?
State in me, and
I think it's 6
Well,
6
6 or 7%,
you need
right?
a bare minimum of 6%.
6%.
6%. That's the bare. So as I said, that's the lowest hanging fruit. However, the co-in-charge in me wishes to believe that we are going to do exceedingly well. We will outperform the numbers that have been projected in the exit polls. And I say this because exit polls, and this is what my learning is, have somehow this inherent drawback to underestimate a new entrant in a state election. In 2013, when we fought the Delhi election for the first time, all exit polls gave us 3 to 4 seats. We clocked 28 out of 70.
They overestimated
because
you
exit
here for
polls, for some
MCD.
reason, are unable to gauge.
Now they're not a new entrant.
This wasn't our debut. But I am
Okay,
talking of a new entrant, a new political force in a new state where we have never contested. People are voting for us for the first time. And therefore, there is an inherent drawback in the exit polls where they fail to understand who is voting for us, how much they are voting, the reasons for the vote, so on and so forth, and whose vote we are breaking, whose vote share we are eating into. All these are questions that are yet to be answered, and exit polls, unfortunately, are unable to capture this. So therefore, I feel all these projections of AAP getting 15 to 18 or 20 to 22% may be proven wrong, and we may cross 30% vote share. Well, that's my belief.
The last question I have for you. This is, it's more of a concern than a question, because your sort of pitch is that we don't fight the ideological battles. We only talk about bijli, sadak, pani, etc. But not taking ideological positions is also an ideological position, especially when you have a situation where more or less you can see that a kind of a battle, an ideological battle, and sometimes even a legislative or a physical battle has been declared against India's minorities, largely by the ruling establishment and its proxies. You have chosen not largely to take a side on that battle. Specifically, we don't see you coming forward and standing behind India's minorities, particularly Muslims, across the board. This could be Delhi, this could be Gujarat. Take the Bilkis example for it, right? You release a dozen convicts, rape, murder convicts on the eve of the elections. That should have been a huge election issue for any party. Silence. One can give many such examples.
You see, when
yeah, Shaheen Bagh. There's a whole history to this.
When we build schools, Vasu, when we build schools, we build that for everyone. When we give free electricity, we give that to everyone. When we build mohalla clinics and hospitals, we give it to everyone. For people across. Let me finish. Permit me to answer.
Yeah,
I'm coming to. I will answer.
Okay.
Permit me to answer. Permit me to answer. I will answer it in my own sweet way. When we build schools, mohalla clinics, hospitals and provide free electricity, we do it for everyone, cutting across caste, religion, socio-economic strata, so on and so forth. We don't, Vasu, wish to get drawn into the pitch of the BJP. We don't want to play on the pitch of the BJP. We will lay down our own pitch and drag the BJP on our pitch. How Arvind Kejriwal ji has managed to get the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and the senior most leaders of the BJP to talk on issues of healthcare, education, schools.
But these are
how he got the
issues
Prime Minister, compelled the Prime Minister to visit the school.
That wasn't my question.
How the Home Minister has started visiting, has now started visiting hospitals. I want them to come and play on my pitch. Why should I go on their pitch and play the match?
This is not the BJP's
They should come to my pitch and play the match.
I'm saying there's a whole section of society which is quote-unquote under attack. It's expected that political parties like yourself will rise to their support or stand behind them. You don't do that. That's what I'm talking about. Because I think you're worried about,
this is your assessment.
About the political
you may
optics.
Choose to believe we don't. This is Vasu. This is entirely your assessment, or maybe your figment of your imagination. We stand with everyone, irrespective of their religion or caste. If atrocities are happening, if anyone is being subject to certain kind of behavior by some people, we stand with them irrespective of who they pray before, what caste they come from, what language they speak. And that is the politics of Aam Aadmi Party.
The fact is, Raghav Chadha, that Mr. Kejriwal has been silent during the CAA, during what happened at Jamia Millia, Shaheen Bagh. There's a whole list of things, Bilkis Bano, as Vasu pointed out. Is it a soft Hindutva strategy that the AAP is pursuing in order to win elections, very simply? Is that what it is?
I think all of you are reading way too much into our politics. We are simple people. We don't even know how to do politics. We talk of education, we talk of schools, we talk of a model of economic upliftment.
That's a very political, that's a very politician-like answer, actually.
Very, very critical of the Aam Aadmi Party. No, they are being extremely critical of the Aam Aadmi Party. I think today is the day. Okay. Today is the day to celebrate the victory of Aam Aadmi Party. You should be serving laddus to me. Instead, you are being critical
we are
of my party.
Boss, let me say one.
Well, you can offer laddus. You can offer me a nice cup of coffee and biscuits when I come to the studio. But having said that, the one message that does come out from today's election is that if there is one party that can take on the BJP, that has the might to take on and the fire in the belly to take on the BJP, that is the Aam Aadmi Party. Whether you like our politics, whether you think we have gone wrong in some particular area of our politics, whether you ideologically agree with us, do not ideologically agree with us. The fact is there is one party and one challenger today that is before the BJP, that is the Aam Aadmi Party, and that is Arvind Kejriwal.
So Raghav, we invite you back tomorrow. Please do come.
Yeah, tea and biscuits is like, that's part of our studio protocol. So you get tea and biscuits.
Irrespective of the results, I'll come.
All right, Raghav Chadha, thanks very much. Let me go across to Mr.
I know
Bhaskar.
you've given me tea enough number of times.
Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh of the BJP, who is patiently listening in to that. So, Mr. Ghosh, firstly, your assessment of how the BJP has done. Yes, the vote share has gone up, but there is an explanation for that. Ultimately, would you say that, yes, the AAP is emerging as a thorn in the BJP's side?
So, till now, I mean, I was just hearing Mr. Chadda's half filled. Let me show you what is half empty. He was accusing BJP for on three accounts. Number one, we have filled all our ministers, our CM and the whole BJP was here. And along with, he has mentioned about ED and CBI. See the effect of ED and CBI, though it has not been planned by us. In Satyendra Jain's constituency, all the 3 wards lost.
Sorry, that's not correct. They were already held by the BJP.
Yes.
Please check these. Everybody here says this. Just go, it's available, data is available. Check it on the website.
They've lost
They were already held by the BJP.
Yes.
They were already BJP wards.
Please take my word for it.
Again, those are held by the BJP
including
wards.
Manish Sisodia's also.
But under present situation, they have lost it because now we're talking about who has lost and who has gained. I'm coming to that point.
How have they lost
Manish
what they didn't
Sisodia
have?
No, we have retained. That means they have lost it to us. We have retained it.
No.
Is this like the dollar strengthening, the rupees not weakening?
No, they have retained means what? They could have snatched it from us if it's not relevant.
Bhaskar, if you retained it, then it's not a loss. No, a loss is if they had it
When
and
we are
they lost it
talking
to
net
you.
16% gain and 3% gain, that means from where the 16% has come, right? Where the 3% has come, net results. That means 16%, 10% is lost by the Congress. That means the entire Congress, whatever, we have not lost anything. The confidence of people is still on us. That's what I mean to say. 3% gain means even our entire activity for 15 years and our manifestos
Fair enough.
and our effort has given us a marginal gain in this respective 3%. Now you're talking about the number of seats. We have lost a lot of seats. Same in West Bengal, 38.4%, but we have got only 77 seats. That's a different ballgame altogether.
But you've lost, now the big picture is you've lost the municipality.
That's what I'm telling you, that we lost it. But now, till yesterday we are talking about we cannot cross 50. That is exit polls. The relevancy of exit poll as on today, I'm not accusing anyone, is now has to be rechecked. What is relevancy?
But on the point that you were making, one second, just hold on. On the point that you were making about the fact that you've gained a vote share, we just spent some time with Dorab explaining why that may be. That may be simply because of the fact that Delhi has now become bipolar. That's why you've gained vote. If Dorab,
No, they have done well.
There's
no question.
No, I know.
We,
but I'm
we,
saying
we are not given more than 50.
Hold on.
No, it's 75 is the average.
No, all over. No, 50
Would you
was
want me to,
75
would you like me to open it again?
Average, you please do it.
No, I'll do it right now.
Even 75 and 104.
I thought these fair that you question us like that.
okay,
I mean, I'm not used to these things.
No, but Dorab, just answer one question.
Yes.
Suppose it hadn't been bipolar. Suppose the Congress had done as well as it had earlier. Then but then would their vote share?
I don't know. Who would the Congress have taken it from? We don't know these things.
Right. Okay.
No, this needs further probing. It needs further probing. But on the prima facie, 10% is lost with the Congress, 16% gain with the AAP. Gain, if we lose anything, then we are losing to AAP, or our ideology has really been questioned. We have gained marginal 3%. That means we have retained our positions.
It is remarkable because you all have been in power for 15 consecutive years in the MCD. So therefore, to even hold on to the vote share is significant. But yes, the bigger story is that the municipality is gone.
Congress is also for a long time they are in power. They cannot hold their vote shares.
Anika Mehrotra from the Congress joining us as well. Anika Mehrotra, the other story, of course, is the decline of the Congress, which it's now what nine seats in the MCD polls. Its vote share has drastically come down as well today. What's happening?
It has come up. It has come up from the previous record, which was quite poor, to about 10%. It's gone up. You have a look at the vote share.
No, you've dropped 10 percentage points. You're
21
now
to 11.
Yes.
Not from the MCD, from the Vidhan Sabha Chunav that we had, from that to this, there's an improvement. Despite that, I think it's no improvement. Let me say, yes, we need to introspect. A. B, a big shout out to the winners. We don't know really who will be the winner and who will be the mayor, looking at the panel and the pattern the BJP runs. But yes, for the Delhiites, I just fear it's their neck, their future now to again have a tussle between the two who actually just did lip service. One on pollution, one on Jamuna, and one on
But
the
can you tell us
garbage.
about the Congress? Because we know about the other two. When you're saying you all will introspect, I'm sure you had a
Also,
few hours to do a little bit of analysis in your own head about what's gone wrong. What are the three things you would say have gone drastically wrong with the Congress? What's happened to the Congress after Sheila Dikshit is the question.
Ma'am, when we came to power, Sheila ji took care of the marginalized people. It was not a generalized picture that everybody got freebies. It was to lift the, EWS category to a little higher middle class. Unlike what the AAP is doing of free bus rides, which is the development funds that Sheila ji had created for Delhi. Are
So
now
what
being
went
used
wrong
in
after
such a
that?
manner.
No.
we
Also, I
can't- we
think.
can't ape.
Also,
Yeah,
Anika
Basu.
ji, as Nidhi, I think what we're trying to get at is because this is not just focused only on Delhi NCD.
Delhi. Yeah.
There is a wider crisis that has gripped the Congress, and these are the numbers you keep throwing up in election after election. Tomorrow, the Gujarat results are going to come out, and
Yes.
again, without wanting to anticipate, what's going to happen or give too much credence to exit polls, in all likelihood, it's going to be a similar story. Isn't this like alarm bells ringing moment for the party?
Absolutely, no disagreeing on that. And yes, it's not that we've not been power. It's not that we have not delivered. It's not that we've not done anything for the country nationwide, leave alone Delhi.
But what is the
name
impact of the
states.
Bharat Jodo Yatra?
And that's exactly, that's
Congress
what's pricking
Jodo
you, my
Yatra
friend.
ya Bharat Jodo
That's
Yatra?
exactly what is pricking you. That is the impact which is gradually coming while we see for the elections. And I'm sure it's going to get an impact. Yes,
Tomorrow
the Aam
you'll
Aadmi
see another
Party
effect
are
in Gujarat.
No, one
stealing
second.
our
Don't
votes.
interrupt. One second. Well, we have to move on. But Monika ji, when you say impact, what's the impact? You've lost Delhi badly. You're likely to lose Gujarat badly. There was a bipole in Telangana. The Congress lost its deposit. This is while the yatra is going on. Went, some point
Telangana.
crossed Telangana.
You are 85.
Yeah. Basuji, then we can say the BJP started with 2 member of parliament MLA. Look where they are today. Similarly, the Congress
But
is
you
on the
can't
tip.
But
of
they went
the
up from there, no?
So that's exactly my
Come down.
point. That's exactly my point, ma'am. If we are coming down, we are going to bounce back again. Yes, we need to sit
Okay,
together.
so you want to go
no
back to
denying that.
BJP levels?
No. So imagine 65 years, Basuji. You have to learn
Okay.
to appreciate that also, isn't it?
Okay, all
You
right.
can't wash away. You can't wash away that era that we
No,
had.
fair enough.
all
I think
right.
we have
Okay,
other.
okay, yes.
We
We'll
have
just
other
go to the
guests.
rest
Nidhi.
of the panel. Nilanjan Sarkar is joining us.
And also Preeti Sharma is here from
yes,
Aam Aadmi Party.
Thank you so much for being patient and waiting with us. Nilanjan, I just wanted to ask you first that is there a bit of jumping the gun on the analysis here that this could be a game changer nationally? Because when you look at the AAP's performance, tomorrow will be very crucial. What, according to you, would be the important sort of benchmark in Gujarat? Would it be in terms of vote share, seats, and also the fact that they need to up their game in winning Lok Sabha elections, which they haven't really. So, is it a bit premature to say that Arvind Kejriwal is the principal challenger, especially in 2024? Nilanjan, are you there? Has Nilanjan frozen after that long question, which I will not remember again?
I think I can see Nilanjan is there. Oh, no,
Okay.
sorry, Nilanjan is frozen.
Okay, Nilanjan has frozen. So now,
Okay,
Preeti Sharma, if you heard that, would you like to answer that? Just on whether it's too early to say it's Kejriwal versus Modi.
Well, I think it might be a little early to say that it's Kejriwal versus Modi. But as Raghav was pointing out, that it has been established, if there is any party that can stand up against the BJP and totally, be able to withstand all the forces which they unleash in an election, it is now the Aam Aadmi Party. I mean, earlier when we won in Delhi, we said that, we defeated the Congress. And Punjab, they said, we defeated the Congress. We haven't really contested against the BJP. But now we have. And while, yes, the election result may be very different from the exit polls, but I think that 134 is a resounding victory. And everybody keeps comparing it to the last assembly. But if I just compare it to the last MCD election, BJP is down 60, 70 seats. And we are up almost 90 seats. So I think that's a fantastic result. I think that is a very decisive kind of mandate given by the people of Delhi. And they've done it despite the fact that there was a campaign which completely tried to vilify the AAP leaders. In fact, there was a very interesting statement made that, Manish Sisodia's assembly and Satyen Jain's assembly. Manish Sisodia is the deputy chief minister of Delhi, not of one assembly. And people have voted for him. They voted their faith in the deputy chief minister and his model. Similarly, I mean, actually, if you were really to compare,
as an MLA,
to make a similar comparison, Prime Minister Modi in Varanasi, there's been subsequent local elections that the BJP has lost there. So I don't think that is any comparison at all.
No, but would you say, Preeti, would you say though, Preeti, but I'm saying regardless of not just Delhi, but wider, would you say that these charges, you can of course call them politically motivated, but when you see your ministers, the public sees your ministers in jail, others facing corruption charges, somewhere or the other, do you feel that this has hurt you? This idea that you're a clean anti-corruption party, now,
the attempt
people are saying, what's the difference?
The attempt was definitely to hurt us. The attempt was definitely to hurt us. The attempt was definitely to somehow, tar the image of a corruption-free party. But the fact is that the voters did not really accept that story. The voters, they put their faith back in Arvind Kejriwal. So I don't think it is a story that the BJP managed to sell very successfully to the voters. It may have sold it to their people. Their vote bank must have totally believed it and, it consolidated and stood behind them. But by and large, the voters of India have not bought that story of corruption.
We have Nilanjan Sarkar back with us. Nilanjan, nod your head if you're there, right? Okay, Nilanjan is there. Sorry, I had to do that because it's
also good exercise after you've been sitting for a long
good for
time.
The next. Nilanjan, let me ask you a different question from the one I had posed earlier. Yeah, so
she forgot it.
It's an increasingly a bipolar contest in Delhi. Is that what is your takeaway in terms of how Delhi is looking now? And what
also
are
the national,
and nationally, then if you look at state by state, is that something that could increasingly be the case where the AAP is kind of edging the Congress out of the picture? Or is it too early to say that?
So I think there are a lot of interesting patterns that came up in the MCD election that can help us understand the national picture. Actually what happened in Delhi is a tale of two Delhis, So if you think of the wards, you can group them into political constituencies. We take 7 PCs. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. I'm hoping you can hear me clearly. Yes. There are 7 parliamentary constituencies in Delhi, right? So Northeast, East Delhi and Chandni Chowk are places where Aam Aadmi Party underperformed. These are places that have large Hindu-Muslim polarization, large Muslim populations that continue to vote with the Congress Party. And so you actually see very little change between 2017 and 2022 in these 3 parliamentary constituencies. West Delhi, Northwest Delhi, South Delhi and New Delhi constituency, the other 4, you see huge shifts. In New Delhi constituency in 2017, the BJP won 90% of the wards. This time, the Aam Aadmi Party won 80% of the wards. Complete flip. What is interesting about this West Delhi, Northwest Delhi phenomenon is that we tend to think of them as refugee families from Pakistan, Punjabi Hindus, core vote bank of the BJP. That's where the Aam Aadmi Party has swept away the BJP. And places where we thought secularism, that might be where Aam Aadmi Party can start pushing back with the BJP, that's where it has underperformed. So something about the combination of the soft Hindutva that Aam Aadmi Party is using and its welfareism Delhi model is appealing to a certain population, but is actually isolating the Muslim community. So there's a question for Delhi, but where does political representation for Muslims go now? But there's also a national point, right, which is when faced with outright Hindu-Muslim polarization, the Aam Aadmi Party does seem to have a fairly effective strategy. Actually taking away Punjabi Hindus in West Delhi is an extraordinary feat, given what we know about Delhi. So that's the sort of national question, that when the Aam Aadmi Party is going to face this in other states, have they figured out a strategy of soft Hindutva and welfareism that's actually a fairly effective counter, something that Congress and some of the other parties have not been able to do?
Right. Interesting. Okay, so that in that sense, Dorab, this idea that Delhi is a kind of microcosm for what we're seeing in terms of the Aam Aadmi Party's attempts to scale up. But it still has to find its feet when it comes to bigger theatres, right? When you look at like a state like Gujarat, Punjab is fine, Delhi is fine.
That's manageable.
Yeah.
You are from Delhi.
Yes.
Now you go into unknown territory. The good thing is for Aam Aadmi Party, I think Mr. Kejriwal has established himself as a visible face across the country. Because you need a leader to fight the election. I think one of the problems of the Congress in Delhi, there was no leader. There was no Sheila Dixit equivalent to whom the people could go to, who they would listen to. So I think this model is a difficult model to replicate elsewhere.
Right.
Particularly where there are, you want to be a national party, you want to go to states where there are low proportion of Muslims. What do you do there? High proportion of Muslims. Can you have 6 different ideologies for 6 different states?
No,
you can't.
Yeah.
So, finally you'll have to take a call. Currently you're in 2 states, neighboring states. So you can manage this juggling act. It will become more difficult as you try and spread your wings.
But I want to ask Mr. Ghosh about that. How do you all see this sort of soft Hindutva plus welfare politics, which you call freebies, but is welfare when the BJP does it? But how do you see that combination? Do you acknowledge today that that is a genuine threat from AAP, that model?
First of all, I don't know what is the real connotation of soft Hindutva and hardcore Hindutva. Hindutva is a Hindutva. And whether it is soft and hard to be determined by the
Bajrang Dal.
By the the rest of the world. But as far as our politics is concerned, that is of 2 main pillars. The first pillar is the developments, another pillar is the management. So these 2 are the main pillars for the BJP. We believe on Hindutva, but there is no soft. Hindutva has got its own agendas, and that agenda we will fulfill. We believe on NRC, we believe on CAA, we believe on all this thing, whatever we are implementing.
No, but is AAP basically the idea, I think, that AAP is trying to be a kind of BJP light. Yeah. When it comes to that, what they've, I think, successfully managed to do, you can call them a whole bunch of names as the BJP does, corrupt, etc. But you're struggling to call them anti-Hindu, right? The biggest political weapon the BJP has against opposition is to label you or brand you as anti-Hindu and pro-Muslim. That, because of the way AAP has positioned itself, is not proving to be as easy for you.
No, first of all, AAP is, with respect to our status, AAP is just a regional party. Now we talk about the strategy part.
AAP is a regional party.
It's a regional party. As on
you brought in, 6 union ministers.
I'm talking about the structure.
6 chief ministers to campaign against them.
Even Hyderabad election, Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, everyone was present. That is not important. Important is that every election for us is a test, is accountability to the public, to the rest of India. But we're talking about the structure of the party is a regional party. They are yet to come to national level. You remember, Mamata Banerjee fought for all
2 states.
2
They're
states
now in
is
Punjab.
still regional party.
Tomorrow they'll become national.
Actually they're the only regional party in power in 2 states, Delhi and Punjab, with chief ministers in 2 states. Actually they have more,
I don't think there's any other regional party.
Yeah, exactly. The only other party is the Congress, which is the national party.
With respect to other regional parties, they have slightly aged more because they have got one more state, Punjab, in their hand. But Delhi is not a full-fledged state. It is a half state, or it is not a full-fledged. All right. So the only full-fledged state.
That's not a very good thing to say on a day when you lost the MCD in Delhi.
No.
Is to say Delhi is a bit of a half state.
You're talking about the strategy and performance and the structure. They are only Punjab. Punjab is the only state. Punjab is the only full state there.
Is the AAP a challenge or not? Yes or no?
I don't think that AAP is a challenge at national level at all. Because whenever we are talking MCD, we are talking about Gali, Mahalla, water, these, that. The moment it goes up to the assembly level to the national level, then AAP is
why
lost.
were national leaders, I think what Basu is trying to say, you had national leaders campaigning in municipal elections. Is this not a setback?
That is a strategy and
it's a good idea to actually read out the names of the number of people you brought in. Just to remind, but just look at this. Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Smriti Irani, Piyush Goyal, Kiran Rijiju, Anurag Thakur, Hardeep Singh Puri, Yogi Adityanath, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Manohar Lal Khattar, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Jairam Thakur, Pushkar Singh Dhami.
I'm telling you, all are based in Delhi.
The Chief Minister of Assam has had to come here.
Most of them based in Delhi, being the
only Biden didn't come.
Sorry?
Only Biden.
Biden.
But most of them are based in Delhi because most of them are cabinet ministers. They are in Delhi. They are working from Delhi. They're only the other states.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, Manohar Lal Khattar, Shivraj Singh
the
Chauhan,
chief
Yogi
ministers of other
Adityanath, Jairam
states.
Thakar.
That
They're not
you should be
working.
happy that we are giving so much of importance to the people
But
of Delhi.
you're just not giving him to the people. Okay, anyway,
Of course.
to the people of Delhi.
Can I please come in here?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I think that, I mean, it is BJP's style to be dismissive of all parties, and they have in the past also been very dismissive of regional parties and said, Mr. Nadda has said that, there should be only one party in the country. That's not the way how democracy functions, sadly for them. The Aam Aadmi Party is definitely becoming the third national party that's tomorrow, hopefully, and if all goes well. But I think that regional parties deserve more respect than what BJP usually gives them. This is a democracy. I also don't want to see this country turn into a bipolar kind of country with just two parties. Regional aspirations are important and regional parties are important, and they're equally strong where they're fighting. And to just be dismissive, to just say that, okay, it's a regional party and therefore you can dismiss it. Regional parties have been real vehicles of change and they have fulfilled aspirations of various states. So
Sure,
I think
but
BJP's view
Preeti-
of democracy and of the
Okay,
country,
no, but
leaving
leaving aside the question of the regional party, the point is that in your attempt to be a kind of mini BJP, is that something which, and this is a question I was asking Raghav as well, is then you abdicating a certain moral and ethical responsibility you have to stand up for India's minorities? As Nilanjan was saying, that's getting reflected in the way that's getting reflected at a political level, in the way that, for example, Muslims may not be voting for you as much. But leaving that aside, isn't that an important task, a political task or function you have, which you abandoned?
No, I think we are the diametric opposite of the BJP. The BJP fights all elections on communalism. We fight all elections on governance. That's the basic difference. Nobody's ever talked about governance in elections so far. Congress may also have used communalism at times to polarize elections and get their way. Or other parties have used communities, they've used castes. But we don't do that. And that is why I think everybody finds us, they want to put us in some
but isn't it important
to put us as the A-team of this
Preeti
or
Sharma, isn't it important to speak up for those that are marginalized? And unfortunately, it does happen in this country on the basis of religion as well. Now, in Bilkis Banu's case, I'm surprised that the AAP was not more outraged and made a public statement on it that, this happened to a woman in this country, irrespective of her religion. But because she was Bilkis Banu, the party didn't take a position on it.
The party at that time was concentrating on an election where the BJP hoped that they would like to polarize the election.
So you've just proved the point.
The BJP was trying to polarize the election as they did with the Shaheen Bagh protest. They want every election to be about Hindu-Muslim. The Bilkis Banu's case is a case that deserves every citizen of India to stand by her.
But you didn't.
What about the farmers?
Is it an election issue?
What about the
Why
farmers?
should it have become an election issue
But-
at that time
but
when
Preeti,
we were fighting
you didn't-
elections purely on the issues of governance?
No,
Why
I'm saying
can we
you
not
didn't.
fight elections
You
on the
guys
issues
didn't
of
stand
governance?
up for
Why
her.
does it always have to...
I'm saying it was happening in a state which is going to the polls. Standing up for her doesn't necessarily mean it's an election issue. Standing up for her
It's just the right thing
is
to
the
do.
right
We
thing to do.
absolutely stand up for her. In fact, earlier you were mentioning CA and RC as well. We were the first assembly that passed the law saying that we will, we kind of legislated that we will not allow CA and RC to be enforced in Delhi. So we have taken a stand on issues which we think the BJP is going to...
And that is because of your Bangladeshi voters.
Try and divide
Nothing
people.
else. All
Here we go.
politics.
Here we go.
Illegal
Here we go.
Bangladeshi voters,
So far,
they were not
so far we
supporting
had managed
CNRC.
to avoid that.
And
now
that's
here
what
we
I got
are.
it.
That
Why
is,
don't you go? Why don't you talk in a line of principle? It's not a principle.
Bangladeshi
It
voters.
was illegal
Extraordinary.
Bangladeshi and Rohingya
Amazing.
voters. Let me put a very point
Amazing.
across
What world do we live
Oh
in?
my gosh.
Who did what? Brought them
I don't know what world he lives
They have
in.
brought
He
them to
works for
Delhi
the
and for
citizens
their
of
own
Delhi.
benefits,
The
and when we're
citizens of
talking
Delhi have given us a
CNRC, they are
resounding
opposing
mandate,
it.
and we have taken
Because
away the
they are-
authority from them. And I think that
you
it is
stop
an
talking about
insult
it.
to call the
That we're
citizens
doing
of Delhi
it. She's talking about
Bangladeshi.
principles. She's talking about polarization. Then what
I
about that?
don't think you should call the citizens of Delhi Bangladeshis. I don't think they'd accept that from you. Especially
Also,
not today,
Bhaskar,
not now.
we can't make fact-free statements, right? You can't just make generalized allegations that there are illegal Bangladeshis, there are Rohingya illegal. You have to provide evidence. You can't just say that in the air. At
No,
least
but
not
we
on
have
NDTV.
provided. In Bangladeshi, we have provided enough evidence that how they are staying here, how they are getting the voter card.
Your party
We have given enough evidence.
The Delhi law and order machinery is in your hand. If you wanted to do something about it, you could have. The fact is that there's no credible evidence about the things you're saying. But anyway, there are a quick point on this whole question of how AAP has positioned itself vis-a-vis this Hindu-Muslim question, right, which has become a central pole of Indian politics today. Do you think that they've managed to sort of deflect this whole...
Well, they're just trying to keep...
BJP's labeling.
I think they're trying to keep away from anything to do with anything other than development. They just said, our eyes are closed. So, it could be soft Hindutva, hard Hindutva. We just are not participating in the debate whether in a country, any country, whether you can opt out of the social part of the debate, maybe Christians, maybe Catholics and Protestants in Ireland. You can't opt out of a social part of the debate if you want to be a national party, because there is an economic element, a social element, a political element, an ideological element. You know,
there is a moral element.
It's part of. So everybody has to have some position somewhere. You just can't be that I'll build roads for you and everybody will drive on the road. That's it. You can't. You know, the government has an obligation not just to provide services, but to provide security, to provide welfare, all kinds of things.
But also to rise in the defense of the vulnerable, right? I mean, that's also part of
but
what you're supposed to do.
Provide services and security to all. That is the job of a government. Provide services and security to all. That's what we should be doing, and that's what we will do. We will not get into... You want every election, BJP wants every election to be about religious politics. Many other parties want it to be about caste politics.
I object. You see our manifesto. You see the manifesto of MCD, where there is regional politics or religion-based politics is there. Please mention one point in the manifesto.
Okay.
Which is official records through which we are asking for the vote.
Does anyone
read manifestos? And that is why I got 104 seats.
No.
Who reads manifestos?
If you look at the manifestos in Himachal and in Gujarat, and then you say that there's no religion or no ideology, I mean,
we are talking MCD now. We're talking about Gujarat. I will explain to you what is the Gujarat.
We're talking everything.
Okay, Nilanjan, last word from you. We're running out of time. So you pointed out some interesting lessons from Delhi and what it's telling us about the national picture. But is that then a reflection of the fact that at the moment you're saying that the AAP will, I mean, they may have success in places like Delhi, but they will struggle to scale up? And so in that sense, the Congress remains at the national level still an important challenger to the BJP.
Absolutely.
So certainly scaling up before 2024 is a tall order, so that, you know, we can leave on the side. But I think tomorrow we'll learn a lot. And the reason is we want to understand what happens if Congress falters in a traditionally BJP Congress contest kind of state, right? We have these states, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, MP, Gujarat, Maharashtra give 70% of BJP seats in the national elections, right?
Madhya Pradesh,
most of these, not UP and Bihar, but the other ones are Congress BJP contests. What happens if Congress falters? Like Punjab is a different case. There's a Kali Dal. What happens in a traditional Congress versus BJP contest? Congress falters. Let's say a party like AAP comes in. Does that open the door for AAP nationally? This is something we don't know, right? But tomorrow, if Aam Aadmi Party does very well in Gujarat and Congress is decimated, something like what we're seeing in the MCD election today. What is very well according
to you for the AAP in Gujarat?
I think that if they can get up around 20% vote share, that will be enough to signal that they'll become the main challenger in Gujarat. I think that you'll start seeing defections from Congress. I think that you will see that, what we're hearing, one of the big interesting questions in Gujarat, this is for tomorrow, but we know the Congress swept Saurashtra last time. The farmers were upset. This time, we're hearing that the Aam Aadmi Party may have made very strong inroads. We'll have to see tomorrow what the results are. But if places where the Congress is sweeping in one election or shifting completely to the other, to the Aam Aadmi Party, or even Aam Aadmi Party, a sizable chunk of it, then you see that they have the ability to eat into Congress at a national level.
All right. Well, we have to leave it at that then, because tomorrow is the big day as far as the state elections are concerned. Thank you very much to our panelists for joining us tonight. We are back at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And where, by the way, Dorab has said he's only going to anchor in Gujarati. Gujarati mein kuch you want to say
Tomorrow,
to say farewell in
tomorrow's the
Gujarati?
big day.
Or you're saving your Gujarati for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, that's right.
We'll see you in the morning, 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Kalke shakale.
That's the Gujarati part, right?
That's Bengali. That's
For him.
Gujarati.
I
That's
said
the
that.
Bengali
That's
part of
for him.
Gujarati.
Kalke
All right,
shakale.
okay. Thank you very much indeed. Good night.